What's up, everybody? It's a special Thursday episode. I don't typically stream on these days, but I didn't go work out or do anything today, so I feel like I have to stream. So, hello. Alright, so last time we made a beach terrain and then we dug in the terrain a little bit. This time, I think we might try to Yeah, I think what we'll do is we'll collect sand. So as we dig, I wanted to collect, like basically increment a number. And we also want to fix the cameras a little bit more so that we can zoom in and out and such like that. So we'll see what we can get through. That's my plan for today. But first things first, I gotta update the titles of our episodes and all of that. So let's see what we got here. Uh-huh. So today is, are we on 10 already? Nice. 10 episodes in. And this one will be, what am I going to do? Collect sand and fix cameras. I think that's what we'll be doing today. At least that's what I hope. I might just put this on Twitter today. All my friends and family don't need to know about this all the time. Or maybe they do. Why not? What's it hurt? Okay, so this is the title. Uh, Live stream started. Blop. Oh, I didn't copy. I'm just hit edit. It's easier to copy it from there. Yep. Took me a whole, 2 minutes to get this started? Well, I'll also explain what we were doing today, but still. And that's Facebook. You don't want that. You want this. Oh my gosh. How do I cancel any of this? Do it again. Leave this page. Cool. Number 10. Let's get started. So if I hit play on this test scene that we made, we should be able to dig in the sand. It's very subtle, but we're digging. And you can see it in the scene viewer more. And I see if I hold it down, it keeps going. So maybe I want to modify the script a little bit so that we could, when you hold down the button, you have to actually move the mouse before it, before what? Before you actually dig. You can't just click and then it digs. You have to like start moving your mouse around for it to dig. Let me go ahead and, I know I closed out Chrome altogether. I'm gonna just open up maybe my dashboard just so I can see chats and stuff like that, in case anyone chats with me. Okay, oops. This is my chats. Okay. Hi, chat. I'll pop out chat. Cool. Got my chat going. I hope I do, at least. Alright, cool. What's next? What is next? Yeah, so we got Visual Studio here. Alright, our terrain dig. One thing I want to do is here we go. I say when you first click, you do start digging a little bit, like you put your hand in the sand. But then I just don't want it to keep going. So I'm going to get a vector 3. It's going to be last position. And I'm going to say alright, let's see. So we're getting button. The first thing I'm going to do is last position equals input dot mouse position. Okay, cool. But okay, here's the problem. If I'm doing that, so say get button equals fire 1. That's cool. And last position does not equal input dot mouse position. Yeah, I think that's good. So that will run. So most of the times that will run. The edge cases is if, like at the beginning, last position is going to be 0, 0, 0. So you can never start your digging at 0, 0, 0. Is that a problem? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. So this is what I'm also going to do. I'm going to initialize last position to some crazy thing. So last position is going to equal a new vector 3. Does float have anything? I'm just going to say is positive infinity. So that basically, oh wait, not is positive infinity, dot positive infinity. There we go. So I'm basically starting this off like at a number that you can never actually reach from the screen. So float is positive infinity, positive infinity, positive infinity. So we know at least at the beginning when you first click, you'll always input that mouse position should return some place somewhere on the screen, so it'll start. If that doesn't work, you'll say else if. I got one more condition. Else if input dot get button up, like you're letting go of fire 1. Then you just kind of do the same exact thing. And that is it. So hopefully if I run the script, if I run it in Unity now, it won't like continuously dig if I hold the mouse still, but I have to move it around. Wait, where is all this like heavy digging happening? Okay, so if I click here, okay, but then if I move the mouse around, you start it to see the dig. So if you really want to kind of like get in this one giant hole, you have to at least shake your mouse around a little bit so it's kind of like you're drilling in there. Kind of. Or at least going back and forth like this, so you're like... Alright, cool. Sorry, just had to fix that before we continued on. Alright, so what are we talking about today? Oh, we're collecting sand. So as we dig, we should collect sand. So, what should we do? Should we make a whole new script of just like sand collection? Maybe. I mean, we could put it in the sand dig script, but maybe we'll just have like a sand collect script. Alright, so let's do that. Alright, I'll use events again. Not sure if this is the best use of events, but it'll be a little bit decoupled. Sand collect. Collection. Or maybe we could just do just different things like player. Uh, Alright, so this is kind of where we start becoming more globally aware of all the objects in the scene. Who has the sand? Is it the player that has the sand? Is it the is it just some kind of abstract idea that an object can collect sand? So maybe player can collect sand, John can collect sand, Susie can collect sand, uh, our cat Mr. Binkles can collect sand, maybe. Uh, so I'm gonna do something like that, like just have some kind of abstract thing that you can just attach to anybody. So sand collection. So that means whoever this is attached to, whatever object this is attached to, can collect sand. So, okay, cool. Let's give it a shot. So I'm just gonna make it an int, and we'll just say sand, I guess, to keep it simple. How much sand do you have? At the beginning, it's gonna be 0. So I don't need to do any of this. Um, you know what? I do need start though. Alright, so on start, we're going to subscribe to an event. And that event is going to be, maybe not on start. So this is the thing. If we do it on start, I think, let me get the Unity docs before I say something. Unity3d, it really might help if I just put the Unity docs out here. And I think I had the Unity docs somewhere. Scripting API, here we go. Is that it? Did it move? Okay. What was I going to do? Start. And then maybe it's like a game object that start? Is that something? Actually, last time, or a couple times ago, we found a really cool site, right? It was like the order of events. Yes, that's what I want. I just want to see if it tells you the difference between start and awake. And that's what I really want to know. So, okay. Start is only ever called once for a given script. And let me just look at the end. So, the only time I guess a script the script will end is the disabling and the decommissioning of it. So if you really want to have something subscribe to an event when it wakes up, and or enabled, and when it disables, you really want to use the on enable on disable thing. So I'm thinking, and we can give it a shot, is that if we ever disable the object for any reason, I think it will still be subscribed to the event, and the sand will still go up. So let's see. Let's see what Let's play around. Let's play around in our sandbox and figure it all out. Okay. So we got to do a few things. We got to make an event here, and it's got to be public. So I like to put my public stuff at the top. Public event. Oh, it's got to be some kind of handler. So we need a handler first. Public delegate Do we send an int? I guess so. Public delegate int sand dig handler. That's it. Public delegate. Nope. Public event sand dig handler. Sand dig. Is that it? Probably. Okay. Oh gosh, I don't even know if I did this. So, looking back at our very important, awesome tree we have here, on destroy, we really want to unsubscribe from all events on this. So we've created it here at start, and on destroy, we want to get rid of all of it. So let's give that a shot. So we did this in start. Well, we didn't actually do anything in start. This happens even before start. This whole creation starts, if I'm looking at the tree, maybe before all of this. I think all this stuff is, all the objects and everything are created first, and then the Unity scripts and everything happens. So the start, the awake, the on enable. So the constructor, so to say, or basically whatever makes all of this happens way before the start ever gets executed. FYI. I think that's the case. Okay. So sand dig. So we have start, update, and then the last thing we want to do is on destroy. On destroy. I want to say sand dig equals null. Can I do that? Basically, I'm just saying unsubscribe all your children, or basically whenever you do dig anymore, just don't even worry about telling anybody because you are done. Okay, I'm cool with that. So now we have an event, and now all we gotta do is actually launch it. So I know we used all hard-coded numbers here. I'm gonna keep on with that theme for now. Sand dig 4. Oh. Alright, maybe I don't want to put the sand dig here. I just want to make you a sand dig and put int amount of sand. So if I do 2 by 2 to 4 by 4, I guess that sand is, well, it's not 4 because it's a 4 by 4 square, right? So it's going to be 4 times 4, but I'll just put 16. Okay, cool. So you get 16 sand for every dig. And I mean, this is arbitrary, but I'm just saying for every pixel of height map, you're getting sand. Okay. Cool. That's exactly what I want. So since all the constructor stuff happened already, if I did this in the start, it should work just fine. So I'm going to say, we're going to have a function here, say collect sand, void collect sand, and it's going to be int amount of sand, just like our buddy. And all we do is sand plus equals amount of sand. And then we subscribe to that event by sand, nope. We have to get a reference to it. So this may have to be on the same object as terrain dig. And I think terrain dig's on the camera, maybe? Maybe. We'll figure it out. Okay, so get component terrain dig dot, dot sand dig plus equals let's go ahead and get a reference to that terrain dig because I know we'll need it when we disable it. Terrain dig Nope, don't need any of that yet. We're just getting the reference to it. Let's put a space here. Terrain dig equals component. Perfect. And then terrain dig dot sand dig plus equals collect sand. Is that all you need? Awesome. I love C+. I mean C sharp. So cool. Like, this code makes me happy to program in C sharp. If it works, then it'll make me happy. If it doesn't work, I hate C sharp. Okay, I see I lost my chat window, so it's there. Okay. Sweet. Alright, so we're at 20 something minutes already? Jeez. Jeez Louise. Alright, so we got the amount of sand plus sand. Alright, cool. So let's figure out where terrain dig is and attach it to that same object. So it's under Unity. Terrain dig is, oh, and terrain instead of, see, like, I think this stuff should be on the camera, but then at the same time I understand why it's here because it needs to access terrain. So, okay, good for now. Sand collection, I'm going to put it here too. Oh, but I can't really see sand collection or anything about it. Let's go ahead and make something public for now. Like sand. That would be a good indicator that this is working. Alright, so this, do we get sand? Alright, cool. So this is the amount of sand we have. So if I hit play, there we go. We're digging into sand and we're collecting sand. Cool. So we're like picking up sand, and we can pick up an infinite amount of sand, theoretically. And then what I guess what I can just do in this test scene is we can put the sand back using the other click. So we can just kind of do that here in the same script. So let's see how we're going to do this. I'm going to refactor this, put this in its own method. Oops. Yeah. Oh no, what am I doing? Alright, I'm going to take this, Control RM, oops, that's the wrong one, Control RM. We want this to be dig in sand. This is not exactly gonna work because there's no real way to tell how much sand is in sand dig unless you access sand. So totally need public int sand, and the get is gonna return sand. So that's cool. We don't need a set because that's what collect sand does. But we could totally have a void take sand. Oh, maybe an int. Now I'm getting interesting, right? Take sand int amount. Alright, now I'm just going in like unexplored territory with what I typically do. So sand is going to equal taken sand. Alright, so we're going to get a new int. Taken sand equals math min, now math max of 0 or oh yeah, it's going to be the amount of sand is going to be amount of sand I think I can do this. I think I can do this. Alright, first we're going to say sand minus equals amount of sand. Okay, so that's obvious. So now we have less sand. So typically would return amount of sand. But if sand is negative, we have to subtract that from what we're going to return. So so basically we're going to clamp sand. That's definitely what I want to do. Math F. Clamp. Or not even clamp. We just need to make sure it doesn't go below 0. So math f dot max 0 or sand. Alright. So I'm kind of getting it. Alright, so int taken sand equals amount of sand. I mean, I could do this in one line. If amount of sand is greater than sand, then just sand, or amount of sand. There we go. That's what I need to do first. And then all you gotta do is this taken sand. And that will never go below 0, because even if you're like, okay, say you take 100 sand, right, and you have 10 sand, is first you're going to check if you're going to try to take more than sand. We'll say greater than or equal to sand. It doesn't really matter. Even if you are sand and you take sand, that's okay. Okay, so if you take 100, but you only have 10 left, you'll just get 10. Or you'll get 100 if you have more than that sand. But if sand is 0, it's still greater than, and you'll only get 0, and you'll minus equals 0, and you'll still return taken sand, right? That's how much I need to take? Yeah, taken sand. Cool. So that's how you play that. Okay, now I'm gotta see if how this whole thing works, because I really don't know. Jeez Louise, right? Alright. This is gonna be at what do you call when you put sand back? Place sand? That's what I'm gonna call it now. It's gonna be another else if, otherwise it's gonna yell at me. Same kind of thing though. You gotta kind of move your mouse to start doing this. Fire 2. Yep. This whole last position thing, I can just do that here. Just because I think that is more directed towards that function than it is the refactored thing. Okay. So that's that. Let's do the place in sand. What do I want to do? Control period, generate method. This whole thing again. Okay, so place sand. Okay, so we got the raycast hits. We're gonna grab some. Uh, hmm. Even though I have that function, there's really nothing I can do. Uh, yes, I see that there's a function here, but how do I call it? I guess that's the bigger question. Like, is there... Can I... Oh gosh, okay. So I'm gonna reverse event this the way that I'm used to doing it. Okay, so I'm gonna have a public... First, I'm gonna do the delegate int take sand handler, and that's gonna be int amount of sand. I don't think I've ever done this before. Public event take sand handler take sand, and somehow I just call take sand here. Is that even right? I think so. Man, this is blowing my mind a little bit. So instead of doing anything, I'm gonna just comment all of this out for now. How do I comment? Control KC? Yeesh. That's Control KV anyway. Control KC? Yeah, there we go. I'm just gonna get take sand, and I'm gonna say 16 for now. I'm just gonna put it on the log, debug.log, take sand, 16. And then we gotta subscribe that as well. Oh, and we forgot to unsubscribe when we destroy this. Train.dig take sand plus equals take sand. Yeah. And then void on destroy terrain.dig.sanddig minus equals. Yeah, you don't want to get rid of everything. You just want to get rid of the two functions we have here. Collect sand, terrain dig.take sand minus equals take sand. Cool. Event programming at its finest. So there's no... Only sand collector needs to know about terrain dig, not the other way around. So this guy doesn't care who's attached to it, as long as someone's subscribed to their function. So I guess even here it'd be really good practice to make sure that sandig has something. Sandig does not equals null, because if it's null, you get all sorts of exceptions. And same thing here. Not even doing that one. If take sand does not equals null. What I'm just confused about is, what if you had lots of things with sand collectors? Like, would this just return the first? I don't know. That's what's blowing my mind right now. I don't understand. If you had multiple people subscribed to here, what would it return? Would it return just 16? Would it return the sum of all the objects with sand collectors? I don't know. We'll figure it out. Okay. Let's see what happens. You got sand collector and take sand, and take sand basically just gets launched. Take sand 16 is launched when right click is happening. What's up, Julia J? I'm just doing a Thursday session for no good reason. So Yeah, man, we are digging in the sand, but now we're like actually keeping track of how much sand we're digging, and then we're gonna try to place the sand back. So that's what I'm working on. So here we go. I'm gonna give it a shot. It's gonna crash on me, I think. So right now I'm digging, and you can notice that the sand is going up. So as I dig around here, all right, now the moment of truth. Can I place it back by right clicking? Oh yeah, it's going down for sure. But yeah, I have it clamped at 0, so that seems to be working. I know nothing's actually happening when I try to place it back, but that's because I haven't put the code in there yet. Maybe this is working. Oh, and was it logging? I didn't even check the logs. Uh, let's play that one more time. Kind of dig here and place it back. Something's logging. There we go. 16, 16, 16, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay, cool. So yeah, it's totally doing its thing. Okay, so this is what I'll do for now. I'm gonna have an int taken sand equals 0. If there is sand to take, taken sand equals take sand 16. Like I said, this is all hard coded, and I'm taking like a 4x4 square, so 4 times 4 is 16. And then let's just keep going. I think everything remains the same. I'm just gonna do one check here. So if taken sand is equal to 0, just for now I'm gonna return. Later I'm gonna check, like, if you only have like 5 sand and you're trying to put 16 back, you'll only place 5, but that's much later. But it's always good to do. If taken sand is less than 16, only place taken sand, something like that. And gotta kind of use my same nomenclature at least. Alright, cool. So instead of, this is all the same, this is the same. The only real difference is I am going to add 0.1. And actually I kind of want to make this go a little higher just so it's a little more dramatic, but I gotta do it in both places. And you can see these two functions are ripe for refactoring because they're doing almost the exact same thing. So that is something probably worth looking into, but we won't refactor it today. Since I'm kind of doing the event stuff at the top for that function, I'll do the event stuff at the top for this function. So we have two events. We have a sand dig event and a take sand event. So the sand dig event will go to the sand collector and just take off the amount of sand it needs, and then the take sand. Oh no, sand dig is gonna collect. So you're gonna actually dig in the terrain, but your sand collector goes up. So your sand variable is gonna start going up. But then when you're placing sand on the ground, your sand collector goes down by the amount of sand you've taken. And that's here with the take sand, and we're taking 16 sand at a time. So maybe this is all working great. Let's figure it out. Let's see if it's working by doing. So we're gonna hit play. Right now my sand is at 0, so if I right click and try to place any sand anywhere, nothing should be happening, which I don't think anything is. But now if I left click, I'll start digging, and you can see that at the top window. So that's cool. I'm collecting a lot of sand. But then if I right click now, ooh, it's really powerful. Maybe 0.5 is way too much. But yeah, now I place sand, but now I can't place any more sand. I placed as much sand as I possibly could. So this is a really deep hole, is what I'm figuring out. So the good thing is I can only place as much as I take out. So that is the whole thing here. Cool. Balance, equality, unity. It's all one. So okay. 0.5 was way too big. I think point 1 or maybe point 2 is fine. I'm so like ready to refactor all of this. Basically make it just one function and not have to look different places in my code for this. Alright. Terrain's getting to look a little raggedy. I'm gonna go ahead and import my raw file again. Okay. So left click, dig in the sand. Oh, so nice. Another thing to do is maybe have a cap on how much sand you collect. So how do I make this smaller? Anyway, right now I have like 928 sand. Maybe I can only hold a certain amount of sand. That would be something cool. But alright, so I dug there, and now I'm going to place sand elsewhere. So I'm placing it here. So yeah, I placed some sand. So just take some sand and then just dig some walls. That's what you're doing. Like you're playing in the sand. Yeah, it's actually getting pretty fun. It's getting pretty usable. So like if you're really playing in the sand, right, you'd typically build a moat around it, and then you just like put a wall up first like that, and then you'd keep digging your wall, then you'd keep building up your wall here, something like that. I mean, not that crazy. It's still, I think maybe my heights are still too much. So 0.1 was probably the right number. Do I sound disappointed about that? Maybe, because I was playing with it. Alright, so it's still playing, so this is 0.1 I think. So that's 0.1. What? What? I have tons of sand. Let me put the sand back. Um, 0.1, 0.1. Yeah. I don't know what it's doing. Dig, 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 dig. Place, 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 place. Yeah, that seems about right. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm kind of digging. Digging, digging, digging. Now I just really got to find what's a good like zoom and angle to like do what I'm doing so far away. Like how close should I actually get? So okay, there we go. We started playing with the sand, and it's looking pretty good. I mean, look at that. I mean, we built like a wall around an area, and we didn't like just add sand to it. Like we literally had to dig and then add it. So I like it. I like it. Okay. So I'm feeling pretty good about that actually. I won't linger too much on this topic because I know we always got to keep moving. We can't ever just stay still. But I am going to go back to a topic, which is the cameras. So how am I going to do this? What am I going to do? I think I'm going to save the scene, and I'm going to go back to our old scene, which was the guy moving around. So we have this guy moving around. If you hit the WASD, you can rotate around like this, and then you can keep playing, and you can keep playing while you're rotating the camera, so that's cool. And then the other controls is if you hit space, he jumps. If you hit shift, he walks. If you hit the C key, he crouches. Yeah. What else? I think that's it. I think those are my controls. Alright, and then the other thing is if you right click, nothing happens. Oh, if you tab. What's right click for again? Oh, maybe that's what I'm using for. I don't even remember. Oh, right click was when you tabbed, and you can right click and pan around. Okay. And then if you left clicked in this view, you can make some sand castles, and if you walk on these, you can break the sand castles. It'd be interesting to have like some force though. Like, so if I hit a sandcastle, like if I ran into it, oh, I don't even know where that sandcastle is. Yeah, if like I run into it, it'd be nice to see that the sandcastle like gets pushed forward as opposed to falling straight down. So interesting, interesting thing I'm thinking of. I think what I'll do is maybe if I can just rotate it a little bit towards the force and then particle it, and maybe give the particles a little velocity so it has more like a little bit more of an explosive feel, it will look better. Cause I don't know, it feels just kind of plain right now. How do I? Here we go. There's my guy. So if I like place a few castles like and I run into them, they just fall down, and that's not very dynamic feeling. It doesn't. It just it's a death animation, yeah, but it just doesn't feel. I feel like it could be better. The other thing I want to do is maybe I can tell that this guy is getting caught up on the mound when he walks. So definitely maybe want to exclude whatever this mound is and the character, so the character can walk straight through it. I think that'll have a better feel too. Like it'd be nice if maybe the castle gets reacted to the character, but the character doesn't react to the mound. If that makes any sense. Yeah, I think it does. Uh, or yeah, I mean, or I'm just thinking of adding the terrain difference a little bit. So maybe that's all I gotta do. Okay, cool. Sorry, I'm just thinking out loud. Okay, but I really wanted to do today was fix the two things. Right now, the third-person camera you can't zoom in and out, and the first-person camera, if you move the camera around, your player doesn't move. So I really want to do those two things, and I know I only have like 15, 20 minutes to do this. So let's get started with that. All right, so let's do the rotate and zoom. We still have to do the zoom. So okay, what I do know is we have a player. We have like the circle around the player where the camera can rotate. Now we got to figure out like I guess the conal shape of like moving the camera closer or further. I can do that, or I could just play with the camera's zoom. Like it has like a little zoom lens thing. So if I go here, I go to main camera, field of view, right? Like you can just that's a good way to just zoom in and out too. So 60 is kind of the default. Ah man, the lazy programmer in me just says use what's already there, don't move the camera. And I'm starting to believe in that lazy programmer in me. So I will follow him to the ends of the earth. Uh, so let's do it. So zoom, I got zoom equals 1. Um, yeah, that sounds good enough. If I can just make that into some kind of number. So zoom equals 1. Let's make a private variable. Private variables be initial. What's this fact thing called? Field of view, I think it's what it's called. Initial field of view equals. Well, right now it's blank. So when it starts up. Oh, and there's other stuff I didn't get to test out on that sand thing that I wanted to do. And that one of the things would be to. Is it just an int? Maybe it's just an int. I want to see what happens if we disabled the script and see if it still collected sand. That's what I really wanted to do. We can go back in just a sec here. Let's just get the zoom working first. Initial field of view. Camera. Is this a camera? We're on a camera. Do we have an instance to a camera? How do we... Oh, we are the camera. So we should be able to just get an instance of ourselves. So we have int field of view, camera, 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 I like saying it, camera equals get component camera. Okay, and initial field of view has to come from camera. Initial field of view is camera dot Is there just a field of view? Hallelujah. Okay. Oh, what are you telling me? What do you need? Oh, good. That I can do all day long. It was a float. Field of view is a float, not an int. So I don't mind changing that one set bit. Okay, so we got the camera, we got the initial field of view, and the camera target. Now we just got to kind of come up with the formula. Um, so here's my formula. What is the maximum we're willing to, like, oh, I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana, United States of America. Alright, what's the maximum I'm willing to zoom in? So that's kind of the maximum I'm willing to zoom in. Man, player needs to be, player, get your butt where it needs to go. I'm going to move player where it needs to go. Player needs to be right here for now, just so I can see how much I'm willing to zoom in. Alright, I think 10 is going to be like the ridiculous, like if zoom is 0, field of view is going to be 10. No, let's just make it 1. And yeah, that's fine. 1 to 180, and 60 is the default. So zoom will be 60. I'm just trying to come up with a good formula. So if I say zoom is 1, field of view is going to be 60. If zoom is 0, field of view is going to be will be 1. Now what is about twice as far from this? Is that like twice as far from this? That's what I don't understand with the field of view. I mean, I truly don't understand it. Like, look at the scene view. Look at that camera. Oh, 180 is just a perfect plane. Like, you can see everything around you. So, no, I don't play Hearthstone. What is that? Is that like a card game? Like, I've seen a few of those streams online about Hearthstone. Well, a lot of streams about Hearthstone. Alright. Man, forget it. Forget it. I don't know what I'm doing. The easiest thing is don't even have a zoom number. I am complicating it for no good reason. We'll just have a field of view button. Shoot, we don't even need a field of view. We just affect the actual field of view of the camera. Yeah, let's just do it. I will grab the initial field of view just for good, so like you can hit a button to go back to the initial zoom. So all we're gonna do is camera.field of view is camera.field of view, and it's got to be between, let's say 5. I think I said 11 or 10 was a good number to be. What's the maximum we're willing to zoom out? I think that. Any more than that just looks ridiculous. So 90 or 120. 120. 120 is the max I'm willing to. zoom out. Yeah, it's a very easy to learn card game. Yeah, I just never been into card games really, so I don't know. Uh, Maybe I just have a bias against them, and like maybe if I would just sit down and learn one of those card games, I'd totally love it. Uh, I just never grabbed my attention. Like even other like I know this has nothing to do with the card game you're thinking of, but like even like games like poker and blackjack and all of those, like I guess I played them a lot as a kid, but I after playing them so much, like I have no interest in playing with the cards anymore. I don't know what it is. All right, so field of view. So I know I'm doing all of this, but I have to get an input first. So if input dot get axis, um, this is a vertical axis. Or first we see if it gets button. If get button vertical, camera dot field of view plus equals input dot get axis vertical, and I'm going to put this in parentheses because I think they both should just run only if you are hitting anything vertical. So let's see if that's too sensitive, and we might just have like a zoom sensitivity. Let's just do that now. Times zoom sensitivity, and that will just be a private field for now. But you know what we're going to do? We're going to make it a serializable field and kind of play with it ourselves. And then move it up. I see that we have a few serializable fields that are not the top. I just like to have my privates second. I don't know. I just laughed. I have a dirty mind. Uh, Alright. Zoom sensitivity is there. Cool. Let's see how sensitive it is. Uh-oh, I gotta make it a number. I'm gonna say 1. And you go ahead and be 1 as well. Alright, so let's play that. Here we go. WASD. That works fine. Zoom in. Oh, I have it backwards, but at least it's working. Yeah, it's actually, that feels pretty good. I don't have to do anything. Like, that's a good zoom in, zoom out rate. I don't mind that at all. One problem I do see is I think when I zoom in too much, like I can't move the character around just because his radius is too big. Like he has a big old 1 radius that he's okay with being in. So I might want to narrow that down a little bit. But besides that, that feels pretty good. So I'm not going to change that. 1 sensitivity is great. What is wrong though is I got a minus equal because it's going backwards. Like I feel like up should go zoom in and down should be zoom out. At least that's my natural instinct. And I could probably make that a setting instead. Like zoom in, zoom out. Oh yeah. Rotate around. I think the rotate around is wrong too. Like I feel like no, I don't know. I don't have a good opinion on that. Like if I hit left, should it do that or should it go the other way? No, I feel like that's the right way. Left moves the camera to the left, which makes sense. But the character kind of goes right away. So I don't know. But that looks good. I'm happy. Happy with that. How much time I got? Oh my gosh, it's about an hour, so I don't have much time at all. Okay, so we fixed the third person zoom camera thing. I'm gonna ignore the first person camera thing for now, and we'll end the stream by doing the last test on the events that I made in the other scene. So if I go to scene 00, no, scene terrain. What in the world? Is that a hole in there? I'm like, is that a huge hole? That was just me building the moat and the walls. Okay, what am I thinking? What am I thinking? What am I? 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 One of the things I probably want to do is I probably can't have tall peaks like this. So if it gets like too narrow and peaky, I probably some of that sand needs to like fall down. But that's just future ideas. Okay. Um, oh yeah, the events. So right now on terrain, I have two objects. This one is the event, not event caller. Yeah, event caller. He basically all he knows is he has two events, and he will just call those two events all the time. Um, this is the event subscriber. So sand collection just subscribe to that event. So whenever he calls that event, functions in sand collection also get called. So what I wanted to test was okay. Right now I hit play. The start function ran on both of these two scripts, and the update function is getting called continuously. And I don't think there's an update function in sand collection. So, but there is a subscribed event. So if I go to sand collection, we see there's start and destroy, which we won't worry about right now. Collect sand and take sand. So when I click on the sand, we expect collect sand to be launched because everything's active, everything's going. So if I, oops, not on that view. On this view, if I click, yes, sand, we are collecting sand. And if I go to terrain, that's the best way to tell because you can see this number is going up. Okay, what I suspect is if I uncheck this, sand should actually be not collecting anymore. But I'm not sure if that is the case because I put this on start. Oh, and I always click on the wrong side. So let's go. You see, sand collection is still happening even though the script is disabled. And I think that has to do with the way we set this all up. So, here's the thing. We're unsubscribing only on destroy, but we should be unsubscribing when we disable the object. So, if we look back at our Unity documentation, it does awake, on enable, and start first. Does these loops. That's a loop. That's a loop. And that's some input logic. And then that's scene rendering. But here we go. Towards the end, there's an on disable, and then on destroy, and then on application quit. So on disable will run. Here you go. It's called only when the script was disabled during the frame. On enable will be called again if it's enabled again. So we really should be using on disabled and on enabled, I think. So I'm going to change this from on destroy to on disable. So that might at least stop the sand collection, but it might not start it up again because I haven't changed the start stuff yet. So let's see. I'm gonna, oh gosh, something happened I think. I'm gonna hit play. I'm gonna dig around in the sand some more. Okay, so I'm collecting, that's wonderful, that number's going up. So just keep collecting sand. Now I'm gonna disable it, bam. And now if I dig, I'm not collecting sand anymore. And that's exactly what I wanted it to do. But then if I enable it again, I do want to keep collecting. But then, you see, I'm not collecting anymore. And that is because, if I go back to my Unity documentation, go to the start is only ever called once for a given script. So I can't use this one. I actually have to go back to on enable. And for some reason, on enable will then skip start and then keep doing its loops. So, lessons. When you're doing events, you should really just put them, I mean personally I think you should do them on enable and disabled. So your events should live here. Like that. And start, oh crap, does start happen after on enable? if that's the case, that's going to cause some issues too, right? Where's my documentation? Yeesh, so if start happens after on enable, that might be a problem. So let's hit play. It might give us errors right away. Yep, null reference. And why did that happen? Because on enabled is using terrain dig, but terrain dig doesn't get specified until start. So, gosh, another problem, right? Yeah, I don't even know. I mean, we can do awake, like it said, uh, like this documentation is called. But I think what happens is on awake is even launched. I mean, awake is launched on enable. So let's see. Let's see. Okay, so we fixed the script. We used awake instead of start because we're using that tree that they provided us. So all this is just stupid water behavior missing stuff, which I gotta clean up somehow. But then if we wrong screen. So terrain, dig, 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 dig. We're doing good. Disable the script. Dig, 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 dig. Nothing's being collected. Select the script. Dig, 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 dig. Cool. We're still collecting sand. So awesome. At least we got the enable disable feature working correctly on this. Now, my question, my concern, my whatever, is what happens if I move this up here? Does it still work? According to the tree, I don't think it should work. And if I ever use the right view, so dig, 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 dig. Yep. Uncheck it. Dig, dig, dig. Nothing's happening. Check it. Dig, dig, dig. Oh, okay, so it doesn't work. That thing is only called once too. So the on enable is truly the best place for this. Alright, that answers my own questions about this. Oops. I am not being... What's the map called? I don't know. What are you talking about? Which map? And hi, the turtle on Vamu. Alright. So, okay, cool. When you're dealing with events, if you're using like variables in the events, make sure you define them in awake. I think the best practice is to put your events on enabled and on disabled, because when you enable and disable your objects, your events are unsubscribed as well, which means your object is truly disabled, right? Because if I didn't do this and I did it on start and on destroy, even though I disabled the script, it would actually still be collecting sand, and I don't think that's the attribute you want when you're disabling an object. Like, you don't want your stuff to be updating. You want it to be disabled, like almost gone. Still in memory, but just gone. So I think that's right. I think that feels right. Alright, so finally, my last test. I'm going to kind of dig a little more. I used the wrong view every time. I'm going to make this big. Just a final, like, goodbye stream maximized version of this. Alright, so I'm going to dig here. Nice. It digs really fast. I don't know if I like that or not. And I'm going to right click here. Oh, but I can't really do the maximize play because I really want to see the variables and everything. So I want to dig here. That's digging fast, and it acts fast. So I don't think I have a problem with Unity's terrain. I thought I did, but it's actually working pretty well. So I dig there. I'm going to disable the script and just keep digging around. Nice. Enable the script again. It collects sand. Disable the script. It doesn't collect sand. Enable the script. It collects sand. And then it also, if I'm putting sand down, it still works. I like it. And then take sand, place sand, take sand, place sand. I'm just making sure, as long as awesome. I think that looks great. I mean, it doesn't look great, but I think it works great. And it's doing exactly like what I wanted to do. Okay, so that's been an hour and 10 minutes, and I think that's all I'm going to cover today. It was a good special Thursday session, and I think we got a lot done. We got a sand collector. We can only place as much sand as we take. Uh, and we kind of get a better understanding of the events in Unity. And yeah, and we also fixed the zoom in and zoom out thing on Unity. Yeah, Jula J, man, I am so glad you just came and saw me, even on a day that I normally don't stream. That's so cool. And I don't even know if I'm ever saying your name right. I hope I am. I just keep saying Jula J. It could be something totally different. I'm closing out Unity, but you know what? I really, really wanted to open up the README once more. So Visual Studio. All right, just so I can talk about what we're talking about next time. What are we doing? Test stream. README, README, README. All right, so today was episode 10. What did we talk about? We collected sand. We kind of just deformation of terrain. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I think we did this deformation of terrain on episode 9, actually. So that's kind of what we did there. Uh, so we collecting sand. The next thing to do is collect enough sand so we can place sand castles. So we already did place the sand castles, but now we just have to check, hey, do we have enough sand to place a sand castle? If you do, great, make a sand castle. If you don't, just like put it down and then it makes a mound of however big, how much sand you did have, which is going to be less than actually making the sand castle. We also kind of looked at the third person. Yeah, I think we're done with the third person camera control for now. So I'm going to just say done for here. We still need to look at the first person controller camera and continue onwards, making water waves. Oh my gosh, these are the things that are going to be kind of scary to me. I have no idea, even an idea of what I'm going to do with water waves. Like, am I going to get like some kind of plane or cube that kind of just keeps washing back and forth, or like a shape at least of waves? And do like later on, do I procedurally generate like how curvy it is and then like push it forward and then drag it back? And then if there's any collision between like castles and walls and terrains, like what do I do when it hits your sandcastle, right? So all that stuff. Water waves is such a big thing, and it's kind of intimidating. I definitely need to break that down into smaller parts. Water waves is a big. It's two little words, but it's a big idea. So I might have to have another big picture planning session again just to break that down a little bit. Oh, great! Unity editor has stopped working. That's convenient. At least it happened when I'm leaving. Uh, Marine life. Uh, that's gonna be a little bit later. I think I'd rather do the little sea beach life first, and that will just be kind of like NPCs, like little birdies running around or flying around. Uh, and then the marine life, and then oh gosh, then polishing stuff. I think before I even do any of that menu stuff, I think we should visit any of those first, and then let's see. Oh yeah, sorry, Julia J. Yeah, see you, man. I know you probably gotta go. I'm just doing big picture stuff before I go. Yep, and the rest is polishing and getting it ready. So yeah, I will save this, close it. Um, yeah, I'm gonna close it. Bye, everybody. Thank you for visiting me. I'll be streaming again tomorrow. It'll probably not be very much programming or anything. It's going to be big picture stuff. Just trying to get my ideas broken down a little bit so we can continue our episodes and our ideas and all of that and, do our thing. Bye, everybody. Have a good Thursday.